Canada is known for its breathtaking scenery, friendly people, and peaceful towns, but hiding behind that calm charm are some truly spooky stories. All across the country, from British Columbia to Newfoundland, old hotels have built up reputations not just for their beauty or luxury, but for the ghosts that seem to linger inside. Let's dive into some of the most haunted hotels in Canada, each with its own bone-chilling backstory. Number 1. The Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta, Canada, looks like a beautiful castle surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. But behind its stunning views and luxury lies a darker side. Many believe this grand hotel is haunted. Built in 1888, it has over a century of history, and some say spirits from the past still walk its long, quiet hallways. One of the most famous ghosts here is the Ghost Bride. The story goes that many years ago, a young woman was walking down the grand staircase in her wedding dress when something terrible happened. She either tripped and fell or her dress caught fire from a nearby candle. Sadly, she died. Since then, many guests and hotel workers have seen a glowing woman in a wedding gown dancing alone in the ballroom or standing quietly on the staircase. Another chilling story is about room 873. Guests who stayed in this room often heard loud screams, saw bloody handprints on the mirror, or felt cold spots in the air. Some people believe a tragic murder-suicide happened there involving a family. The hotel eventually sealed off the room with bricks, but visitors still report strange things near that area of the hallway. Then there's the ghost of Sam the bellman. Sam Macaulay worked at the hotel in the 1960s and 1970s and loved his job so much that people say he never left. Guests have claimed that an old-fashioned bellman helped them with their luggage, only to find out no such staff member was working that night. Others have seen the ghost of a headless bagpiper in the hotel's halls. This spirit is believed to be a Scottish piper who played music for the guests but met a sad end. Some say his tunes can still be heard echoing at night. There are also tales of a woman in a long dress appearing in guest rooms and vanishing without a trace. Number 2. The Fairmont Château Laurier in Ottawa, Ontario, is a grand and historic hotel that looks like a castle. It's right next to the Parliament buildings and the Rideau Canal. Many famous people have stayed there over the years, but some believe not all guests have checked out. The hotel is said to be haunted, and there are several creepy stories that support this idea. One of the most talked about spirits is that of Charles Melville Hayes, the man who helped build the hotel. Sadly, he died on the Titanic just days before the hotel was set to open in 1912. People say that his ghost still wanders the halls, watching over the place he never got to see finished. Staff and guests have reported hearing footsteps when no one is around and feeling sudden cold spots in quiet corners. Another spooky tale comes from room 219. Some guests have claimed they heard whispers, scratching sounds, and soft knocking from inside the room, only to find no one there. A few even say they saw a dark shadow move across the room late at night. In the main lobby, some people have seen a well-dressed man standing alone near the fireplace. When approached, he disappears without a trace. Some believe it could be the spirit of a politician or businessman from long ago. There's also the story of a woman in a blue dress. Guests have seen her looking out the windows or walking quietly down the hallways of the older part of the hotel. She never speaks, and when people try to follow her, she vanishes around a corner. Whether it's the ghost of Hayes or other forgotten visitors from the past, the Fairmont Château Laurier has a haunted reputation that continues to grow. Behind its luxury and beauty, some say the hotel holds secrets from another world. Number 3. The James Bay Inn sits on a quiet street just a short walk from Victoria's Harbor, but many people believe the old building is anything but peaceful. Built in 1911, it once served as a small hospital and later a guest house, so thousands of lives have crossed its threshold. Some guests, and even longtime employees, say a few of those lives never really left, and their unexplained stories have made the inn famous for ghosts. First is the spirit of Emily Carr, the beloved Canadian artist who died in what is now room 115 in 1945. People sleeping there feel gentle taps on the mattress, hear a soft rustle of sketch paper, or smell fresh linseed oil as if someone is still painting late at night. A man has even seen a short woman in a dark green cloak standing by the window before fading away. Next comes the night nurse, believed to be a young woman who once tended patients during the inn's hospital days. Guests walking the hallway on the second floor report seeing a nurse in an old-fashioned uniform glide past them, humming a lullaby. She turns a corner and vanishes where no door exists. Staff cleaning after hours sometimes notice an elderly man sitting quietly in an armchair, reading a newspaper from long ago. When approached, he lowers the paper, smiles, and disappears, leaving the chair still gently rocking. Late at night, faint baby sobs drift through the walls near what was once the maternity ward. Visitors search the corridors but find no child, and the weeping stops as suddenly as it began. Some guests describe the shadow on the staircase, a tall, dark outline that climbs upward, pauses on the landing, and melts into the wall. No face or features are ever seen, only a cold wave of air that follows behind it. With stories like these, the James Bay Inn offers more than cozy rooms and heritage charm. It gives brave visitors a brush with Victoria's haunted history. Number 4. The Marathon Inn on Grand Manan Island, New Brunswick, is one of Canada's oldest operating hotels, dating back to 1871. Overlooking the Bay of Fundy, this charming inn has welcomed generations of guests with its old-world beauty and peaceful views. But behind the cozy rooms and wooden walls, there are many ghost stories that make people believe the inn is truly haunted. Strange noises, ghostly figures, and unexplained happenings have been reported for decades. One of the earliest hauntings is believed to be connected to a terrible accident that happened in 1898 when one of the buildings, now part of the inn, was moved across the island. During the move, the building slipped, resulting into the death of several workers. Since then, guests have seen the ghost of a man in old work clothes near the stairwell. He sometimes tips his cap before walking straight into a wall and disappearing. Guests and staff also say the ghost of Captain James Petts, the man who built the inn, still walks the front veranda. People have smelled pipe smoke early in the morning and heard heavy boots pacing. A shadowy figure often appears, staring out toward the sea, then slowly fades into the air. Another spirit believed to haunt the inn is that of a drowned sailor. On foggy nights, a dripping wet man is seen outside second-floor windows, asking if the ferry has arrived. His face is pale, and his voice is weak. Before anyone can speak to him, he vanishes into the mist. One of the rooms, room 12, is known for playing an old music box tune late at night. The sound comes from the wardrobe, even when it's empty. A flowery scent, like lilacs, sometimes fills the room afterward. With so many ghostly tales tied to its history, the Marathon Inn is more than just a relaxing getaway. It's a place where the past still lingers in the shadows. Number 5. The Fort Garry Hotel in Winnipeg, Manitoba, is one of the city's most famous historic landmarks. Built in 1913, this grand hotel has beautiful old-style charm, but also a spooky side. Over the years, many people have said the Fort Garry Hotel is haunted. Guests, staff, and even ghost hunters have shared creepy experiences, making this place one of the most haunted hotels in Canada. One of the most famous ghost stories is about room 202. Long ago, a woman reportedly took her own life in that room after hearing her husband had died in a car accident. Sadly, the news turned out to be false, but the damage was done. Since then, guests in room 202 have seen a ghostly woman in a white gown crying at the foot of the bed. Others have woken up to feel someone sitting beside them or gently touching their feet. There are also stories of blood dripping down the walls in that same room, although no one can explain where it comes from. It disappears as quickly as it appears, leaving guests shaken and confused. In the hallways, staff have heard whispers and footsteps when no one is there. Lights flicker, and elevators stop on empty floors. Some cleaners refuse to work alone, especially at night. There's even a tale of a ghostly figure in the dining room, who shows up after hours and stares out the window before disappearing. Some believe he may be a former guest who loved the hotel so much, he never left. Some guests have even heard music playing in empty ballrooms, as if an invisible party is still going on from decades ago. With its long history and many unexplained events, the Fort Garry Hotel continues to give guests more than just a comfortable stay. It offers a chilling brush with the paranormal. Number 7. The Fairmont Empress Hotel in Victoria, British Columbia, looks like a royal palace beside the inner harbor, yet many visitors believe its velvet halls are busy with ghosts as well as guests. Built in 1908 for Canadian Pacific Railway travelers, the Empress has witnessed more than a century of grand balls, sudden wars, and quiet heartbreak, and some of those memories seem to stroll the corridors after dark. One restless spirit is thought to be architect Francis Rattenbury. A slim man in an old-fashioned gray suit and felt hat is often seen studying the lobby's marble pillars, as if checking his design notes. When approached, he melts away toward the front doors, still clutching a cane in his gloved hand. Housekeepers speak of Lizzie the maid, who supposedly tumbled from a top-floor window while shaking dust from a rug. Guests staying on the 6th floor have felt a soft tug on their pillows and heard a faint swish of skirts, followed by a sudden cold breeze drifting toward the window. Room 503 carries the legend of the top hat gentleman. Travelers have opened their door to find an elderly man sitting calmly in the armchair, reading yesterday's paper. He nods a courteous greeting and disappears, but the scent of tobacco lingers for hours. Late at night, the main elevator sometimes rises to a sealed 7th floor that no longer exists. The doors open onto blank wallboard, and an icy hush blows inside. Seasoned staff advise newcomers never to ride alone after midnight. Finally, many guests smell old-fashioned rose perfume near the tea lobby even when no one is present. Some believe it is the spirit of a socialite who loved the hotel's famous afternoon tea and refuses to miss a sitting. With tales like these, the Empress proves that history can be as alive and as eerie as the present for curious ghost lovers worldwide. Number 8. The Old Courthouse Inn in Powell River, British Columbia, is a charming and historic building that once served a very different purpose. Built in the 1930s, it used to be a real courthouse, jail, and police station. Today, it's a cozy inn filled with antiques and vintage decor, but some say it still holds memories of its darker past. Many guests and staff have experienced strange and chilling things, leading people to believe the Old Courthouse Inn is haunted. One of the most common ghost stories involves the spirit of a former jail guard. People staying in the old jail section have reported hearing heavy footsteps pacing the hallway late at night. Some say they've heard keys jingling and a deep voice whispering, "Lights out," even when no one is there. Another spooky tale is about a female prisoner who died in one of the cells. Guests sleeping in that room say they felt someone sit on the edge of the bed or touch their arm gently. Others have heard soft crying coming from the bathroom, but when they check, it's empty. In the dining area, which used to be part of the judge's office, there have been sightings of a man in a black robe sitting at a table, as if reviewing notes. When approached, he vanishes before anyone can speak to him. There are also stories of doors opening and closing on their own, especially near the old courtroom. One visitor said the door to their room slammed shut and locked itself, even though no wind or person was near it. Staff members have shared tales of objects moving on their own, like books falling off shelves or chairs sliding out from under tables without a sound. With so many stories passed down over the years, it's no surprise the Old Courthouse Inn is considered one of Powell River's most haunted spots, where the past still seems very much alive. Number 9. Le Château Frontenac towers above the St. Lawrence River like a fairy tale castle, but many visitors say its stone walls keep old spirits close. Opened in 1893 on ground once used for battles, trading posts, and even duels, the hotel has hosted royalty, soldiers, and lovers, some of whom may never have checked out. Louis de Bois, Comte de Frontenac, for whom the hotel is named, died in 1698 longing for his fiancée. Guests walking near the grand ballroom have felt a cold hand brush their cheek, as if the long-gone governor is still walking. A young woman in satin is said to drift down the main staircase, clutching wilted roses. Records tell of a bride who learned her groom drowned in the river the morning of their wedding. Witnesses see her reflection in the mirror, but when they turn, she has vanished. In the 1700s, 2 soldiers died tragically during a fight over a stolen watch on the cliffs where the hotel now stands. Late at night, people say they hear the sound of metal clinking and shouting. But when security checks the cameras, the hallways are always empty, with only moonlight shining through. Room 912 carries its own secret. Visitors say they often wake up at exactly 3 a.m. to the smell of pipe smoke and the sound of boots pacing the floor. The room once belonged to a strict hotel manager who died suddenly from a stroke. He was known for making surprise inspections, and it seems he's still not finished. Couples strolling the Dufferin Terrace beside the hotel sometimes hear soft phrases, "Come with me," in French, but see no speaker. Some believe these are echoes of lovers separated during past sieges who still promise to reunite. With stories like these, Château Frontenac offers more than luxury and charm. It gives its guests an unforgettable experience, where the beauty of the past and the supernatural meet. Number 10. The Windsor Hotel in downtown Montreal once hosted royalty, presidents, and movie stars, yet many guests believe some of its earlier visitors never checked out. Opened in 1878 and expanded several times before a fierce 1957 fire closed half the building, the grand old Lady of Sherbrooke Street carries layers of joy, sorrow, and mystery that echo through her wide corridors after dark. One lingering spirit is the fireman in gray. During the 1957 blaze, a firefighter was trapped on the 6th-floor mezzanine. Nighttime wanderers still meet a tall figure in soot-stained gear pointing toward the emergency exits before fading like smoke. Room 246 tells of the honeymooner. A groom slipped in the bath and died on his wedding night in 1933. Couples there wake to water running and the door creaking, even when taps are dry and locks secure. Elevator number 3 stops on the 5th floor, though no button is pressed. Inside, riders feel a chill and smell pipe smoke. Many think it is Sir John Thomson, Canada's 4th Prime Minister, who lay in state at the hotel in 1894. These stories keep the Windsor's chandeliers shining with more than light. They glow with whispered memories from another world. Number 11. Windermere House, a grand lakeside resort built in 1870 on the shores of Lake Rousseau, is often called the Lady of the Lake. Its wide verandas and bright red roof look cheerful in daylight, but many guests feel a different mood after sunset. The hotel has burned down, been rebuilt, and welcomed everyone, yet some visitors believe a few earlier residents never left. A woman in a flowing lace dress is often seen at dusk near the boathouse, quietly looking out over the lake. People say she was a guest in the 1890s whose fiance drowned while rowing. She's known as the Lady in White. When someone gets close to her, she disappears like mist, leaving behind the soft scent of lilac flowers. During World War I, the hotel was used to care for wounded soldiers. Guests who stay in room 306 often say they feel gentle hands pulling the blankets over them and hear a soft voice whisper, "Rest now." One guest even said they saw a woman in an old nurse's cap fixing the pillows before walking right through the wall. Near what used to be the children's nursery, people often hear the sound of little feet running in the hallway late at night. But when staff check the cameras, the halls are completely empty. Still, the sounds continue, keeping many guests awake until morning. In the lounge, there's an old piano that sometimes plays by itself. It usually plays a soft, slow song believed to be Beautiful Dreamer. The keys stay covered, and no one is near it. On warm August nights, people near the West Wing say they can smell smoke like burning wood. But there's no fire, and the alarms never go off. This part of the hotel was rebuilt after a huge fire in 1996. Some even see a hazy figure moving through closed doors, as if the memory of that fire is still alive. With tales like these, Windermere House offers more than lake views and fresh northern air. It gives brave guests a chilling peek into Muskoka's haunted history. Number 12. The Delta Bessborough Hotel in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the city. While many people come to stay for the peaceful river views and charming atmosphere, some guests leave with spooky stories instead. Many believe the hotel is haunted, and over the years, several ghostly tales have added to its eerie reputation. One of the most well-known spirits is the man in a long dark coat who is often seen walking quietly through the hotel's garden at night. People who try to speak to him say he vanishes into the shadows without a word. Some think he may be a former groundskeeper who died unexpectedly many years ago. Inside the hotel, guests have heard a child laughing or crying late at night, even when there are no children staying. The sound usually comes from the hallways or near the staircases. Some people believe it could be the ghost of a young boy who once lived in the building during World War II, when it was used to house soldiers and families. There are also reports of phones ringing in empty rooms, and when staff pick up, there's only static or whispering. Housekeepers say lights turn on and off by themselves, and their cleaning carts get moved when they turn away. Whether it's the spirits of former guests, workers, or something unknown, the Delta Bessborough's haunted tales continue to grow. For those brave enough to spend the night, it offers a unique mix of elegance and eerie mystery.